Hey, kia ora, Helen Brahms here, coming to you live from San Diego in California. Hope you're all having a super fantastic, sparkling day. Welcome to Before the Dirt Nap podcast number 1858. Another fun day with the grandkids. Oh, I have to say, I had another awesome day. I just got to check something here. I think I might have. Oh, I did change it. Good. For some reason, I thought I hadn't changed the episode number, but I did. We had another great day today. It was awesome. Got up, got dressed. Went out. By the time I got out there, by the time I got through the shower and everything, got dressed, the kids were all out there watching TV. And this time they were watching these, I don't even know who they were, but they were all these YouTubers who I guess kind of share a house together or something, or at least a couple of them share a house and their friends come on over. But they've got like these Lamborghinis and these Teslas, and from little sizes all the way up to full size ones. And they're on this huge property in, I think it's North Carolina where they are now. They're on this huge property in North Carolina. It's got a lake and all this sort of stuff on this big house. And they were doing the secret room thing again. So they were doing the secret room thing that we'd seen these kids do yesterday. And so the kids got into watching that. I had breakfast. They each went and got their own breakfast when they were ready for it. And normally they watch TV till 9 o'clock. Well, we got so engrossed in watching the secret room thing. And I was actually planning at 8 o'clock to get them to turn the TV off, go get dressed, and then we'll go to the safari park. Yeah, it didn't quite happen that way. I had breakfast. I went and sat with the kids and started watching these episodes on these secret rooms and things. They were putting the secret rooms into a fire truck, into a Lamborghini, into the back end of a Tesla truck. Where else did they have secret rooms? Brain freeze on the secret rooms. One guy decided to put them in a swimming pool, which was. Oh, no, actually, that was a different series. It was a different program. But they were watching all this stuff on YouTube. And it was just fascinating watching these because I love secret rooms. I've always had this thing about secret rooms and passages inside houses. I've worked out in my dream house how to get secret passages going through. And I always love reading about, these old castles that have the secret passages, but they're actually the passages that the servants would use to move around the castle to deliver food, to deliver things to the room, so they weren't seen in the hallways of the castles. And sometimes it was quicker for them to travel through these tunnels, through these tunnels that were in the castle than it was to travel through the hallways. And so I've always been fascinated with them. So finding a YouTube channels that were actually talking about secret rooms and creating these secret rooms. And then there was this one guy who. And then they had different people coming in and looking for them, and like and this one that we were watching, the guys had took turns. They had like 3 rounds. There was 3 of them, and they had 3 rounds, and one would go looking for the other 2, and then they would switch, and one of the other ones would go looking for the other 2. So they all had a turn at seeking, and they all had a turn and 2 turns at hiding. It was really kind of cool. And then we went on to another one who was this guy who apparently is really good about building secret rooms and things. And we're in his house, and it was interesting. They had this bounty hunter, supposedly this bounty hunter guy come in who was the son of some well-known bounty hunter. When they showed the well-known bounty hunter, I had no clue who he was. Okay, he's well-known in some circles, but definitely not the ones that I revolve around, the things that I watch and stuff. But it was kind of cool. And then these 2 guys ended up getting 2 garbage. Oh, that's my mama. She's texting me. Hi, mama. The big garbage bins, the big dumpsters, getting 2 dumpsters, cleaning them out. And they had so long to get them cleaned out and then hide them in plain view. And they actually put this big tube between the 2 dumpsters and covered it up with trash bags and made a false top to go on there with trash in there, so it looked like there was trash spilling out of these things. And they used fart spray. I kid you not, they used fart spray to spray around the outside of the dumpsters so that people would think it smelled like garbage and they wouldn't want to go anywhere near it, hiding in plain sight. And they actually ended up moving it a couple of times, one because they were in the sun, it was like sweltering hot, and they had to stay there till midnight because that was the deadline. And so then they ended up moving them to another area where it was a little shadier and a little cooler and things. They didn't last. Yeah, they got caught. I think they had like an hour left before the deadline, and they got caught by the bounty hunter and their friend who was training under the bounty hunter. So we were watching all of these things just like back to back to back to back, back. Totally lost track of time. It was like 10:20 by the time I says, okay, one more episode and that's it, we're done. Because I didn't have my phone sitting on me. My phone was on the table. And so they did that, and I got up to get my phone. It was 10:20, and I says, oh, what's I says, we were supposed to leave here. We were supposed to get ready to leave at 8:00 so that we could be where we needed to be by 9. And they're like, well, where were we going to go? And I said, the safari park. And they're like, oh no, we don't want to go there. It stinks too much. And I'm like, of course it does. It's a zoo type of place. Of course you get the animal smells and things. They're like, no, we don't want to do that. I said, well, do you want to go to the regular zoo? They're like, no. Okay, where do you want to go? What do you want to do? And they were coming up with some ideas like zip lining. I'm like, no, because I got a little 3-year-old. I'm like, I ain't putting him on a zip line. Oh, well, you can put him on a zip line as long as you hold his hand. I'm like thinking, what sort of place has a zip line where you can walk alongside it and hold a kid's hand? I thought, in New Zealand, we have what we call flying foxes, which is basically a T bar upside down. So you sit on the T of the bar and it goes up to the thing and you just go down there and all that's stopping you at the other end is a whole row of tires. That's it. And we were flying around on those things when we were kids. None of this protective gear, helmets, harnesses, and none of that. They would just hook this. There was this thing that would be there and there'd be this long rope on it as well. So you could then pull it back up to where it needed, back up to the starting platform, and you just sit on this thing and just go there. You had no brakes on it. You had no control of the speed or anything. And you just whack into the end of the tires and that would stop you. So, yeah, I just wasn't going to chance the kids on zip lines or anything else. So what we ended up doing is that they ended up going outside and playing. They just had a whole bunch of energy. So they went outside and played and rode around on their bikes, and their bikes became their motorcycles. They had workshops set up. They had a gas station set up and all of this in the backyard. It's actually quite cool to watch their imaginations and stuff working. They played in the playroom as well. And then I said, okay, everybody go get your shoes and socks on. We're going out. This is what we're going to do is we're going to go have lunch out. And one of them wanted to go to Bourdain's because I had taken the youngest one to Bourdain's. So one of the other ones says, I want to go to Bourdain's. And I'm sort of like, no, we'll do that on our special day. And we're doing our special day? I says, no, because the special day just be you and I. And it's going to be a weekend when your mum and dad are home so that they can watch the other two while you and I go and have our special day. And we can do Bourdain's then. They're like, okay. So we ended up at Denny's. It's hilarious. They give them the kids' menu. And the youngest one looks at the thing. He picks out the chocolate chip pancakes straight away. He's like, I want them. Chocolate chip pancakes. I said, chocolate chip pancakes? Chocolate chip pancakes. That's what he wanted. Okay. The other two had birthday cake pancakes, which was basically pancakes with a whole bunch of frosting on top and sprinkles. And all I can think of is Sugar Rush. And I thought, nope, that's, I'm not going to tell them what they can have and not have and that sort of stuff. And they had them with chocolate milk and lemonade and all of that. And then after that, we went to the park and they got to play a bit on the park and they got to talk to their mum because she called while we were at the park, and they got to talk to her for a little bit. Then after that, we hopped in the car and we went and got ice cream, and we went to this Spanish ice cream place, and it was really, really cool. There was not a lot of people in there. The service was fantastic. They had a couple of tables inside. But most of it was, coming together. And there's this one guy, he was just like putting together, I don't know what, but they looked amazing. Whatever he was putting together in these square plastic containers that had ice cream, and he was making like a shake thing. And I don't know what the heck he was making. I was looking up at the menu going, well, I don't see any of that on there, but it looks really, really good. I just got this one that had brownies in it. Had a brownie cake or something in it. A couple of the kids got popsicles. One of the popsicles that they got had like this rainbow color thing on it. And he was eating the popsicle thing, and there was an Oreo cookie stuck across the stick. There was an Oreo cookie on the popsicle stick underneath all of this, and the outside was ice, the inside was ice cream, and then there was this Oreo cookie in the middle. And I was like, this is the coolest thing. I mean, these were like these rectangular shaped popsicles, and for some of them, they even had, like if you were doing a takeaway, you weren't eating it straight away, they had these polystyrene containers that exactly fit these popsicles in there. And they had ones that were ice creams, they had one that was straight ice. And the youngest one just wanted the strawberry one, which was made with real strawberries. So I was really impressed with that. and the youngest one wanted, the middle one wanted Snickers ice cream. It was a little on the runny side, but he said it didn't taste very much like Snickers, and you couldn't find any peanuts in there. So, but they had some amazing flavors and stuff there. The service was really good. And they took their time with each client to make sure that they made exactly what they wanted. And I thought that was really cool, just watching them interact with their clients, with the way they interacted with us. Most of the people in there were Latin American people. They were all speaking Spanish in there. We were the only white people, the only non-speaking Spanish people in the room, and and everybody was just really gracious and everything else. It was an awesome experience, and I had seen this ice cream shop for years. And when we living in the area and driving past it quite often and everything else, and I wonder what that's like. What we got to experience today. Will I go back there again? Abso-freaking-lutely. I don't even know the name of the place. It's some Spanish name that I don't know how to pronounce. But it was really, really good. And so after that, we came home. The kids were like high on sugar and ice cream and everything else. It was great. They then went outside and played and expended some energy there. And then like around 4:30, they decided they wanted to go for a swim. So they all hopped in the pool for about an hour, kicked them out of that, sent them up the same routine as yesterday. Go have a shower, get your PJs on, come down, eat your dinner. Once dinner's clear, we're going to sit down and watch a movie. And so we ended up watching the original Despicable. Yesterday we watched Minions: The Rise of Gru, I think it was, or Despicable: The Rise of Gru, something like that. It was about Gru when he was a little kid. And so tonight we watched Despicable, and I've never seen Despicable because honestly, I don't like Steve Carell. I know he's the voice of the main character of Gru, and I am not a big fan of his. And I typically do not watch anything that he is in, which is why I've never watched any of the Despicable movies. But the kids wanted to watch it, so we're having a family evening, and so that's what we ended up watching. So, but it's kind of, and that finished a few minutes ago. That finished like about 30 minutes ago, and so then it was the battle because they were so hyped up from the movie. The movie was funny in places, and there were just these little drops of funny sprinkled throughout there, and there's just these little one-liners that the kids. I wish I was recording the kids' laughs. The kids' laughs were amazing. I have never heard. I mean, I've heard the kids laughing and playing and everything else, but this was just straight out laughter at humor that was on the screen, and it was so delightful to hear that. And I thought, I will sit through this movie again if it makes those kids laugh that way. And so then they had to clean up their space because they all set up their little movie sitting places that have got cushions and blankets and that sort of thing, and make their own little nests to sit in on the sectional. They've got this big L-shaped sectional. So tonight I was on one of the armchairs with the footstool or the ottoman, and they all had the three of them had the sectional together and just sprawled out however they wanted, made their little nests. And so it was clean all of that up, and then up and brush teeth and go to bed. So they went to bed about 20 minutes ago, I guess. It was, yeah. So now Grandma's totally exhausted. It's almost 9 o'clock and I'm ready for bed. But now I got to go see what my mum's texted me today because she wants to know how the safari park went. And I'm like, yeah, we didn't get to that. And tomorrow Mum and Dad come home. I don't know what time they will be home. So we'll just make sure the kids are ready when they come home, and that there's stuff has been cleaned and put away and that sort of thing, so they're not having to come home and clean and that sort of stuff. I know there's a bunch of laundry upstairs to do from the kids from being in the pool and out of the pool and all of that sort of stuff. So we'll get all of that done in the morning, and so it'll be nice and clean and everything else, so she doesn't come home to a huge pile of laundry. I always like to make sure that she comes home to a clean house. So I will get the kids there and bribe them with stars. They get they've got a chore chart, and they have to get so many stars, and there's a dollar value that they get to, and like an allowance that they get if they get this many stars. And so they'll be working for some stars tomorrow. They don't know it yet, but we'll get them working for some stars. And then on Tuesday morning I head home. I have had so much fun this weekend with the boys. It's been awesome. We've had our ups and our downs, but we've had more ups than we have downs. And but even the downs is totally worth it. I love my grandkids. They are so awesome. I have awesome grandkids, and I've had a lot of fun with them the last 3 days. So, and I get to have them for half a day tomorrow. So, it's yeah, I'm going to be sad going home, and I wish I would have lived closer, but it's just too expensive to live in right now. So the closest I can live that I can afford is Arizona. So that's where I am right now, and but to be able to drive over here and look after them for a weekend has been awesome. But I do have to come back on a weekend where mum and dad are not going away, so the two older ones can have their individual, so I can do individual special time with each of them, and that will be fun. That will be fun too, because we get to do things that they want to do with grandma, and just one-on-one time with grandma, and they don't get a lot of that right now. So yeah, we'll figure that out, because I miss my grandkids. And then I've got 2.5 other grandkids. The half is due in December. I think it's around my mum's birthday. Mind you, my birthday's around my mum's birthday too, so just before my mum's birthday. So yeah, got a grandson number 6 is coming in December, and so when I come out here, find times that I can spend, get to know my other grandchildren as well. So yeah, I was going to see them this weekend, but they were all out of town, so we didn't get to have family time together, which would have been awesome. But anyway, that's it. I'm out of here for today, and we'll have another post from here tomorrow, and then I go home on Tuesday. So, but I have. Did I say I love my grandkids? I love them. I love spending time with them. They are just so inventive on things, and just when they are being in that zone of being brothers and cooperating with each other and not annoying each other and just playing nicely together, it just fills my heart with joy and there's times that they will irritate each other like any siblings do. I know that my brothers and I used to have conflicts as well, and they're just like any other siblings. But just when they're in that mode where they're playing nicely together, it just warms my heart so much to see them doing that, and to be able to sit there and just watch them do that, and maybe get in and play with them a little bit. But they like to go outside, and they like to get on their bikes, and they pretend that their bikes are, let's see, we've had motorcycles, we've had them as cars, and I think one had a Lamborghini, one had a Tesla, just on their bikes around the backyard. And they create their own little workshops, their own gas stations, that sort of thing. And then when we got into the pool, they had yachts and boats, and it was they had their boogie boards in there, and they were boats, they were yachts, they were speed boats, they were luxury yachts. What else were they? I think that was just basically it. Trying to race each other around the pool. It's so much fun, because I do not get in the pool with them. I am not comfortable in water, so I just sit and supervise. Yes, I sit and supervise and kill the spiders. And the spider killer, watch them, keep them safe, everything like that. Make sure I've got the little beeper thing for the dog, that she's busy running around barking at the other dogs that are walking around the street. And I tell you, it's been a fun day. I even got a bit of a tan, even though I was sitting in the shade. Somehow I ended up with some tan. Oh, that might have been when we were in the park. Yeah, maybe that was when we were in the park. But anyway, go out, have a super fantastic sparkling evening, and we will see you on here sometime tomorrow night around 8-ish. That's all I can say. Once the kids are in bed, I'll sneak in here and do a live. So go out, have a super fantastic sparkling evening. We'll catch you guys back here tomorrow evening. Hey, good night.